Hey scholars and families, it's Miss Marnon, so I want to go over what the Pod D virtual students will be doing for the week of October 26th. So as you can see, I updated our Bitmoji room, so it's Halloween themed. The other thing I wanted to show you is that I put a link here on the camera to my Instagram. I do post announcements and updates for class and anything that's important, really. I post there, or even if it's just a picture of Biscuit the dog. So Biscuit's a service dog, and she visited me the other day. So just so you know, you can follow me on Instagram. There's also some Among Us stuff on here, just some reminders about what's going on in our classroom. The other way to get to this Bitmoji room, other than through your child's Canvas, is on the Lincoln webpage. So if you're on lincolnscsd.com, just a reminder on how to get back to my page, you go to About Us, Faculty and Staff Directory, go until you find me or whatever teacher you're looking for. So here I am, Miss Marnon. And if you click this Math 7, it takes you into our actual class page. This is the page I usually send out in our talking points messages. It takes you right here. So we have updates on what's going on our calendar. And then I have the feed here, which also has important announcements, just so you guys can know. So it already says October 28th. We have STAR testing. We have some pictures of what's going on. And here's that Bitmoji room that was also on our Canvas page. You can also see the weekly overview here. There's some resource buttons for you, and then even the data wall, so you can see how your scholar's progressing on a specific standard. You just need to know what period they are in for math and what their lunch number is. And then there's even some like YouTube links here. So just as a reminder, that stuff is always up and available for you. I'm going to start looking into this week. So let's go to modules. So here's the weekly module. You can see I already went through day by day and recorded videos for students for each day. And when I did it, I completed the assignment. So I got a green check. So if you're ever looking at your students' Canvas, you should be looking for this green check mark. So if they have any open circles, it's something they haven't done. And if it's a red circle, that means it's late and not done. So if I start on this Monday page, here they're going to start working on a project. So here's that video overview. If you hit next, it takes you into the direction page on how to get to the project. So it's in our class notebook, and students are very familiar with this. So I'm going to open it in a new tab to show you how to get onto it, because I know some students have been struggling. So you just can click class notebook on the side of Canvas. There's a purple sign in button, and then open in OneNote online. And then you have the tab with our class notebook. So your student will be able to click their name and get it in there, but all of the teacher copies are kept under Content Library in Unit 2, and we're on Fundraiser Project Day 1. So here are your students able to type. If they go to the Draw tab, they can actually pick the pencil and pick a color, and they can draw right on the page if that's easier, especially if they do have a touch screen. To go back to typing, they just have to click this button, and then it goes back to typing instead of drawing. So that's where they're going to get the work for the fundraiser project day 1. When they're done with it, there's a mark as done button at the top. You can see I already marked it as done, but this is what it looks like. They need to hit mark as done when they're done, and then they can move on. So this is what we're going to be doing all week, actually, is we have this project. So Tuesday kind of has the same little overview, and then the directions for the day say go to class notebook, Unit 2. This time it's fundraiser project day 2. So here's where they're going to start their work. So we're looking at income and expenses and calculating profit to kind of get our mind in the right place before we start designing our own fundraiser. When they're done, they hit the mark as done button at the top. For Wednesday, it's our all virtual learning, all remote, all asynchronous day. For Wednesday, students are taking the STAR test. So they're going to log on to homeroom at 8:45 on Teams. So all students at 8:45 should be logging on to Teams for homeroom. During homeroom, they're going to get a link for a specific room to go to have their STAR test proctored. They will take their math STAR at 9 o'clock. So they'll have either me, Miss Figueroa, I think, or Miss Eastman, any of the teachers that they have proctoring the STAR test at 9 o'clock. They'll be in a room, like a virtual room on Teams. They'll get the directions read to them. They'll have help from the teacher if they need it. If they get tests read, they'll get their tests read. So it's really important that they're going to homeroom at 8:45 on Wednesday in Teams so they can get the link for where they're going to have their STAR test proctored at 9 o'clock. So the math STAR is at 9 o'clock, and the ELA star is going to be at 10 o'clock. That is plenty of time. The test usually only takes like 25 minutes for each kid, but they've put a whole hour, so there's time where they can take a break and everything. So they're going to do the star test. So I even have a whole page on here for the star test. If they miss it, which they should not, because I'm sending this announcement out to everybody, if they miss their time, I do have a video with how to log on and get to the star test right here on the page. After they're done with both star tests, I didn't want to make them do math work, but I still needed an assignment for the grade book. So we're going to do a data dig. So they can look at that data wall, and they can even reference it on our class homepage here. So here's the data wall here. And they're just going to answer these 4 questions. That's it. To get a text box to type in, they need to hit at the top, it will say submit assignment. It's a little backwards. You need to hit submit assignment, and then they can get to the text box. So if they would like to, they can copy and paste these 4 questions in. They can have the data wall on that page, or they can even open it from Canvas in this page and look at it and see how they're doing on different standards. If they don't like typing and they would rather present it themselves, like they can do a video or audio recording, they can hit this media tab and hit record upload media and start recording. So if your student wants to practice saying it, we have student-led conferences coming up. So if they want to practice talking about their data, this might be a better option than typing. If they wanted to do it in a Word document or something else and then upload it, they have that choice. But I think most students are going to want to do the text entry, copy and paste the questions, and then they can just type in the box. When they're all done, they can hit submit assignment, and they'll get confetti that they did it. If they realize they made a mistake or they wanted to do it again, they can always hit resubmit assignment and do it again. But that's it for Wednesday. So the big focus is the STAR test, and then just these 4 questions on how they're doing so far in these different standards. If you wanted to know, the 7NS1A is additive inverse, so opposites that add to 0. 1B is adding rational numbers, so positives, negatives, fractions, decimals. And 1C is the same thing, but it's subtracting. So we can see how they're doing with adding to equal 0, just adding in general any numbers, and then subtracting any numbers. When they're all done with that, they're done for Wednesday. So let's look at Thursday. Thursday, we're going back to the project, and now they're actually going to start their own proposal. So your student's going to come up with their own idea for a cause that they would like to raise money for and a fundraiser that they would like to do for it. So that says go into class notebook, unit 2, fundraiser project day 3. Here's our class DIN. And here's where they're going to start on the proposal. So who do they want to raise money for? What are they going to sell, or what service? How are they going to advertise? How many people will support? Then they're going to start listing items. So if they decided they wanted to do a car wash, they might list sponges, soap, buckets, anything they would need for it. If they do a bake sale, they might need cake mix, they might need flour, they might need cupcake liners, frosting. Taking the item and the cost, and if they need like a lot of it, they should figure out how much they need for multiple. Then there's our exit ticket, and they do a self-reflection, and that's it for Thursday. On Friday, we're going to finish up the project. So here we are for Friday. So it's going to say, here's our overview page for Friday, and then here's our direction page to go into class notebook, unit 2, day 4. So now here's our class DIN that we're going to do in teams, and then they're going to do a profit worksheet. So they're going to figure out how much they're going to charge, and then how much revenue they would make based on their prediction of how many customers they'll have, and calculate their profit. When they complete their exit ticket on is their pricing reasonable, they actually are going to score themselves with this rubric. So the easiest way to circle or score at the rubric is to go to that drawing tool, click the pencil, pick whatever color they want. I like to grade with purple, and they can circle where they thought they met on the project for the rubric and score themselves. When they're all done, they're going to hit the mark as done button, and they're all done with the project. They're all done with the week for math. And when you look back at that module, you're going to see green checks all the way down and a green check right here. And they're all done with this week, and they can have a happy Halloween on Saturday.